Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of The Binding of Isaac, Repentance. I'm gonna get my mouse out of the way there. In the last episode we did a run, and in this episode we're gonna do another run. I think we're gonna try to maybe unlock some other characters, maybe, have some other fun stuff. We did unlock Eden last time, which I will play at some point, just not right now, I don't think. I think we'll try a Lazarus run today. Now, Lazarus's gimmick. Also, oh man, I realized I didn't do this the last couple episodes, but for each, I'll use my mouse here. For each run in the game, there's a seed that you can use if you want to play along for whatever reason. So in this run the seed is JB8ZZD67. So if you want to play along for whatever reason, you can. I apologize for forgetting to do that in the last two episodes. Yeah. Maybe I paused it, I don't remember. Oh my lord. Okay, so... Well, I didn't mean to pick that up immediately, but I was going to explain Lazarus's gimmick is that he starts with an extra life, and you can, when you die, you come back with some more stats and stuff. Yeah. So, we just picked up the Whore of Babylon, which I think we had in a previous episode, but we're also going to pick up this item, because we already know what this item does. It's the stabby thing. So we picked up Brimstone, which is one of my favorite items in the game. Unfortunately, now we only have 1 health, but we have this now. So, that's good. And we almost died, but that's cool. We're gonna blow this guy up and hopefully he'll drop a heart. He did! Thank God. Unfortunately, due to our health being the way it is, the Whore of Babylon effect has not been activated. But that shouldn't be too much of an issue considering we have Brimstone. Yeah, Brimstone is one of my favorite items in the game. It's just a lot of fun to use. We are going to have to go to our item room. I believe that we'll do that before we fight the boss. Some money, that's nice. I am a little concerned about my HP, but I think that'll be fine. Linger Bean. Crying makes me toot. I think that we got that, not last episode, but one of the recent episodes. I have no idea what it does. Except I think I do. I think it's the cloud thing. Like it releases a fart cloud after a while. Weird game. Gonna pick up this spirit heart and this bomb that we got from that Tinted Rock, and then we're gonna fight the Gurglings. Which shouldn't be too difficult, because, again, we have Brimstone. I've unlocked the cellar. The cellar is the more difficult version of the basement that I mentioned. I think it was last episode. And now we're on the cellar. Specifically, the second floor of the cellar. Unfortunately, the one bad thing about... Well, I mean, if you... That's not what I meant to do. If you interpret more difficulty as bad in any way, technically speaking, everything about the cellar is bad. But there's a different boss pool for each version of the different floors. So, I think you can fight all the basement bosses on the cellar, but you can also, there's a bunch of cellar bosses that you can't fight in the basement. This item is Libra. Libra is a weird item. What it does is it gives you a bunch of consumables, but it also balances out your stats so that they're all even, relatively speaking. Now you might think to yourself, okay, that sounds pretty good. And it can be in the right situation, but also it has a very high chance to just completely screw you up. Because it completely balances your stats for the entire rest of the game, so every stat upgrade you get suddenly becomes an all stats upgrade, but one of a significantly smaller magnitude. We also, unfortunately, took damage, red heart damage, on that last room, so our chance of getting a deal with the devil here is significantly lower. But we did get growth hormones, which is pretty useful. Also, wait, we have a life. When did that happen? Right, okay. I have no idea when we got an extra life. Maybe we picked up something? I have no idea. I also just realized that our luck is down again, which is also a side effect of excuse me. Lazarus starts out with negative luck, and so you have to, when you die and come back with his extra life, you get more luck back. But I have no idea why we have another life, so maybe we'll figure that out at some point. I wasn't paying enough attention, but that's not really a shocking thing, considering I have not paid attention for the last 21 years of my life. Not much to get in there. Grab the spirit heart, these things, and down we go. Woo! On to the caves. Screw it, why not? I don't know if I explained these in the previous episodes, but these little challenge rooms let you fight a couple waves of enemies to gain stuff. There's also alternate versions of these regular challenge rooms where you fight bosses, and they change them in Repentance, I believe, so that you can only be accessed if you have like literally 1 heart or less, which is not how they used to work, but I think they have better stuff in them now. I don't know. I'm gonna do my best to never be at 1 health, so I don't know if we'll ever get to see what's inside one of those. Alright, we could go into the curse room, and you know what? We're gonna use Guppy's Paw, which has been showing up like crazy. I think it's showed up on like every single run I've done so far. And that wasn't worth it at all, but that's fine. And that guy dropped a battery. And a pill. Amnesia. That sucks. That, as you can see, it makes it so that you can't see the map. And then you walk into enemies because you're a big silly Billy. Or maybe that's just me. Stranger Tractor. It's magnetic tears. It makes it so that your tears are magnetic. And you can see it there pulling, my little beam is pulling the coins closer. In all honesty, I don't really like Stranger Tractor, but I took it, man. I don't know. I have no idea what this item is. It must be a new one. Voodoo Head, extra curse rooms. I can only assume that means there'll be extra curse rooms for whatever reason. So, cool, I guess. That could actually be really useful. But we'll have to see. It might not end up being useful. Versus Peep again. Oh right, I was about to say I don't know what we have that's causing us to do poison damage occasionally, but then I realized that we picked up the trinket Black Tooth earlier on, which I think occasionally gives your shots poison damage. I didn't think it worked with Brimstone actually, but hey, I'll take it. We get the screw, which is tears and shot speed up. And then we get these items. neither of which are very good. We'll probably pick them up at some point on some run eventually, but I don't think I have enough health to really justify it right now. So we're going down to the next floor. Woo! And then I'm gonna do a little stretch that you guys can't see because I don't have the webcam on, so it just is me describing myself stretching, which is real adorable, I'm sure. Anything good in here? Absolutely not.
One makes it small.
For the pills this run have been very underwhelming. Not very good in the slightest. Although I suppose there have been runs that I've had in the past where I had much worse pills. As you can see though, we're already on the 4th floor, and we're only 8 minutes and 33 seconds in, so you can really see how powerful Brimstone is, where we haven't even gotten that many like damage upgrades and we're just tearing through everything. Which is always fun. I like the runs that you get where you go super fast through things. There are admittedly, a lot of the time, there are runs in this game where you play and suddenly you're sitting there like, okay, I'm 75 hours into this run and I'm on the 2nd floor. But they're not always that difficult, which I appreciate. More hearts that we don't need, and an envy fight. Which I think we've been incredibly lucky so far throughout this little tiny series. I don't think we've fought envy in a situation in which it would take 37 years to kill him. Because we had, I can't remember what the situation was the other episode, but we killed him super fast, and we killed him super fast there too. So, I got nothing, man. The sun. But you can also see how Stranger Tractor makes it really sometimes difficult to hit things, because it moves the people around so much. And I guess this is what it meant when they said extra curse rooms. It was pretty self-explanatory, but I also figured it could have meant something else. And we get access to a deal with the devil. Alright, we're gonna take this one, the goat head. And that, what the goat head does is it makes it so that you have a 100% chance of getting a deal with the devil on any floors where you can get a deal with the devil. I don't remember if we've gotten this item, but it's the bad PhD, which makes it so that all pills are bad, but they have like secondary good effects, which apparently wouldn't have affected the pills that we just took in that curse room very much because they sucked regardless. But that's fine. I'm emotionally well. I'm not affected in the slightest. These guys are a massive pain in the butt with magnetic tears. But we dealt with them pretty well. And Stigmata, which I think we got in another episode? I don't know, man. I don't know. Life is so confusing. We are going to use Guppy's Paw immediately, though, so that we can get the benefit from Whore of Babylon again. And I'm going to put a bomb down here, because my psychic senses tell me that it was a secret room. My psychic senses were wrong, but one day they'll be right, and then you'll all be sorry. That wasn't worth it in the slightest. We could have gotten into the curse room for free, though. Ah, well. You live and you learn. Bumbino? This is a new boss. Must have added in Repentance, I guess. Okay. And he makes rocks fall from the ceiling. Ow, and he punches me in the face. Okay, that's fine. Emotionally, I'm well. Crackjacks. Which gave me a used diaper, which I don't think is any good. And I guess we could take the bad PhD if we wanted it, but honestly, I think it kind of sucks. In all the runs I've had so far, and I've done a couple off camera, not in this profile, obviously, I haven't found a situation in which the bad PhD really helped, like, at all. So, I don't know, maybe it'll come up at some point. Or maybe there's just, like, some synergy with some other item that I have yet to encounter. Get a bunch of money from that thing, from the golden poop. This room is fun. It's always weird when you have these sorts of runs when you're recording and playing, because on one hand, you know, I want to talk about the run itself, but also at the same time there's not a lot of tension involved, because we're already so powerful, you know? I would say that, oh, well, we're probably pretty likely to win this one, but that would be the words of a player who's much more confident in their playing than me. And I'm not very confident in my playing, so I could die at any moment. This dice room will re-roll our entire run. It'll change all of our items into something new. And I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I have no idea what I have. This is weird. Why are my tiers multicolored? I have no idea. The run isn't too much less powerful. I have no idea what's up with, like, I can control the tiers after I've fired them. So I've got no clue what's up with that. It also didn't re-roll my spacebar item, which is nice, because it used to do that. And by re-roll it, I mean it used to, like, just take away your spacebar item. Ghost Pepper, Flame Tears. This item, yeah, it occasionally does that. You occasionally shoot out fire. This is really weird, but also kind of cool. As much as I love Brimstone and those items in general, I think that this is a little more interesting, a little more novel. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we're guaranteed to win anymore, so that's what I get for talking shit, huh? There's Options has appeared in the basement. 14 minutes in. We're doing pretty well, guys. I really would like to know what's making my tiers multicolored, though. I wonder if they have any, like, special effects or anything. Like, my guess would be, like, each color of tier is probably gonna give you, like, a different, like, status effect, like poison or fear or something. Reap Creep. I've never fought this one. Must be another Repentance boss. Everything's cool. Oh my lord. Well, honestly, we still feel really powerful. I was like, oh, it's not guaranteed. And it's... oh my lord. That was scary. Still not guaranteed, but, still feel pretty powerful. What was I saying before this? I have no idea. Wait, do we also still have... I think we still have the, oh, well, I thought that we still have the thing that gives us multiple curse rooms, because we have multiple curse rooms on this floor. But maybe we don't? I have no idea. I'm just completely losing my train of thought every other second, which is fine. It's not like I needed a train of thought. I've never been a big fan of locomotives. That was such a lame joke. You guys can feel free to unsubscribe. Alright, what's behind door number 2? Amnesia. 1 makes you small. I don't actually know if there's any benefit to the pills that make you smaller. They might make it so that you're slightly less likely to be hit by enemy bullets and stuff, but I have no idea. It really beats me, man. I hope we don't run into any more dice rooms, because the more that I reroll the run, the more likely it is that I'll be super dead super fast. But we're going on to the next floor. Yay! Of course, the first freaking room is a dice room. This, however, rerolls all the item pedestals in the floor, which could be good. It does not reroll the whole run, so we don't have to worry about that, but if we find any items that we don't really want for whatever reason, we can go back there and reroll them. These blue fires will occasionally have a chance to give you spirit hearts, which unfortunately make it so that you waste the spirit heart that's in the red chest right by it, but whatever. I'm not hurt. Oh boy, this room sucks. Yeah, I'm thinking that whatever's making our tiers multicolored definitely has that effect that I was sort of talking about earlier, where it's like it makes it so that every tier has a different effect. This room really sucks, though. And at some point a spirit heart dropped, so I have no clue what's going on. There's a Tinted Rock. And I somehow didn't get hit by that enemy, so I'm gonna chalk that up to the smallifying pills and leave it at that. Alright. And Daddy Longlegs, which I think we had either the first episode or the second episode. As the numbers get higher, no doubt I'm not going to be able to remember things like that in the slightest. But we seem to be getting a lot of the same items, which is kind of funky, because that usually doesn't happen very much. I will admit there are some times where you'll play through some runs and you'll be like, wow, I'm getting this run 74 times, all at the same time. You know, Ancient Recall has appeared in the basement.
The sun.
The Hierophant card will give us 2 Spirit Hearts when we use it, so it's definitely one of the better cards in the game. I would go to the shop and try and, you know, maybe donate more. But there's something special that happens if you get to the end of the mom fight with only with less than before 20 minutes have expired. So we're gonna do that and hopefully be able to get that to happen. One downside to editing these videos less than I do normally is that whenever I have the distinct urge to burp, I am incapable of doing so. So right now there's like a burp right in the bottom of my throat. And so if I die during this episode, that's why. Also, I thought we got that item earlier. I have no clue, man. Fish head is okay, but I'm not gonna pick it up right now. So this is Boss Rush. And what Boss Rush is a boss rush. If you make it to the end of this fight before 20 minutes have expired, you get to fight a big old rush of bosses for your choice of item. And we're gonna pick this item. The Wafer. The Wafer is an item that makes it... So basically, some things, attacks, enemies, various things, will do 1 full heart of damage or more to you throughout the game. As we saw last episode, everything does at least a heart of damage to you once you get to the womb. I have no idea what that was. But the Wafer makes it so that every single time you're damaged, it can do no more than a half a heart of damage to you. So the Wafer is really one of the best defensive items in the game. You could probably make an argument for any of those other items, but I'm not going to explain what all of them do, just because that would take way too long. So the main thing with Boss Rush is that you really have to think about whether or not the item that you're picking up is worth it. That's really the main thing. And whether or not you're strong enough to beat the rush without multiple hits. But partially because we had so much health, and partially because we picked up the wafer, I'm really not concerned at all. This also sort of brings up an interesting, well, not an interesting tidbit, but an interesting sort of note. Wow, this makes the bloat way easier. Is that each character in the game, when we go back to the character select screen, either later this episode or next episode, you'll notice that each character has a little piece of paper by their, in like the top left of the screen. And so as you do different things and beat different bosses, you'll get different little completion marks on that piece of paper for each character. And almost every single completion mark, once you get it, you unlock like a new item or a new challenge or something. So it gives you an incentive to beat the game multiple times with each character. And Boss Rush is one of those things. So by doing this with Lazarus, we, technically speaking, will never have to use Lazarus to fight Boss Rush again if we don't want to. Obviously, we probably will at some point, but we're no longer required to unlock everything. So, you know, truly the little things. Whoopsies. I did not kill Dingle quite as fast as I should have. It's really hard to strike a balance between explaining everything that I want to explain and being, like, way too talkative, you know? Because I want to be like, oh, this boss is a mask of infamy, this boss is this boss is that, this boss does this and this and this, and you're gonna want to watch out for this, and did I mention this? But, I think I would suffocate, and by suffocate I mean just pass out from lack of breath, which I think might be the exact definition of suffocate, but I have no idea. Words, I say words too much, and then the words come out of my mouth, and they're not funny, and so I have to think about the words before I say the words, but then I haven't really done that a lot in my life, because I just like to talk, and talk, and talk, and talk, which is cool, if you're into that, I guess. This boss, sucks. He's not that difficult, but he splits into multiple parts when you kill him. We have taken, unfortunately, far too much damage, I'd say. But I'd also say that it's not going to matter a great deal, mostly because we picked up the wafer. And we have the one red heart that we picked up from the mom fight, and the eternal heart that we picked up from that as well. So, using Guppy's Paw, that's like 6 spirit hearts on the back burner. So I'm not concerned in the slightest. This does give you a little bit of a primer, if you will, for all the various bosses that we'll fight at some point. Because, you tend to fight these guys a lot. And sometimes it's harder and sometimes it's easier, because roguelike, woo! I keep feeling like, okay, this should be the last wave, you know? This should be close to the last wave, but if there's one thing that I know about Boss Rush, it's that it always seems to take at least slightly longer than you think it's gonna take. It's kinda like boiling water. You think that it's gonna take, 5 minutes, and then you realize that it's actually gonna take 15 minutes, and then you get to the 15-minute mark, and you're like, okay, why isn't it going? And then you get to the 17-minute mark, and then it's gone. But that was the last wave, woo! And we got Headless Baby, which is, macabre. Also, we got a bunch of little red hearts on the ground that we can do nothing with, which kinda sucks, but whatever. We also unlocked the item Missing No for, beating that with Lazarus, which I would explain what that does, but we'll probably get it at some point. The fish head trinket that we skipped out on makes it so that you produce a couple of flies whenever you get hit, which can be useful, but I think Blacktooth is better for us. Utero 1. I don't think that's worth it. And we can go into this curse room and hopefully get good stuff. Oh! I think we could have gotten this guy last episode, so we're gonna get him now. Little Brimstone. What Little Brimstone does is he charges up like regular Brimstone, and you can fire him. So he's kind of like having a little version of Brimstone. Almost like his name is Little Brimstone. I know, shocking. It also kind of like gets a little bit rid of the pain of losing Brimstone from earlier in the run. Nothing too worthwhile from Gluttony there. Although I think you unlock something once you've beaten all of the 7 deadly sins at least once. I think. But we have not encountered all of them. I think we've encountered Sloth, Gluttony, Envy definitely, and possibly others? I think we fought Wrath? I have no idea. I've lost count and track already, because I don't know what I'm doing. But we're winning, which is kind of like the most important thing, right? Winning is the most important thing, not being entertaining. After all, who wants to be entertaining, you know? I mean, I certainly don't. Being entertaining is for chumps. Chumps who are not me. Oh boy. Those enemies suck, because they have, they grab you and they take you back to the first room of the floor, which is a giant pain in the ass. You also may notice, I've talked about Tinted Rocks a couple times. I'll use the mouse to point it out. You see this little X right here on the rock? That's the sign that this is a Tinted Rock. It also is a different color, but on the womb and utero, it's such a small difference in color that I can't even tell. So I always just look for the X. Yay, more spirit hearts. Woo! Alright, and is there anything worthwhile for getting here? I don't know. But there is a thing here. Ooh! Raw liver. It's an item that gives you 2 hearts. It's also really rare. I think I've only had it like in my several hundred hours of playing this game. I think I've only had it 3 or 4 times. So I guess that's cool, I guess. And that's an interesting thing. This is a little trapdoor that leads us to a crawl space, which you occasionally have a chance to get whenever you break a rock. And that's an item. And here's a restock box that we can use to change the item if we want to. And none of these items that are dropping are very good, so we're going to blow it up. And I don't really want the Ludovico technique. Or Ludovico, however you pronounce it. I think we had that in one of the episodes previously. But it does not work very well with Little Brimstone. And it also kind of ruins this weird controlled tier thing that we got going on already. So I'm sure there'll come a time when we take that again. Just not this run. Unfortunately, I did waste all my money and one of my bombs. But whatever. That's fine. I'm not bothered. Oh boy. Nearly got hit there. But he's dead. Long live the bloat. And breakfast. Which just gives us more health. And there's nothing to get there, which is fine. And we're going down to the next floor. Woo! Womb 2. You know, if you had twins before they were born, would they technically be called womb mates? I'll see myself out. You know, I've heard tell of two ships that crashed at sea. One was filled with red paint and the other was filled with blue paint. Some say that they're marooned. I think I screwed that joke up. I think it was a different kind of paint. Oh well. I'm fine. I'm the joke master. I definitely didn't steal that joke from my mom. Definitely didn't do that. Come on, buddy. You coming? Up. And he's dead. This room is scary. But not that scary. Not like jump scare scary. It's more just like, you know, medieval torture scary. More red hearts than we can shake a stick at or use. And we nearly got hit by those, but that's fine because it wouldn't have meant anything anyway. Final boss! Final boss! Woohoo! The butterbean has appeared in the basement. I think I got that for breaking a certain amount of poops. Honestly, I wouldn't spoil things for most things. But we're gonna unlock a bunch of items in the series. And, I'll be 100% honest with you. You're never gonna be excited about seeing the butterbean ever again. The rubber cement has appeared in the basement. The ace of clubs has appeared in the basement. Super special rocks have appeared in the basement. If you enjoyed this thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like, comment, or subscribe, any of which would mean the world to me, and I do so hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a good one.